Still got the same body corporate manager, which is nice, for a change. Apparently he's been doing it for 18 months, which is a lot better than what we had initially when I moved in there. But he gave me a heads up about everything. It looks like there's something, it's not decided yet, but it looks like we're going to get some better security there, either CCTV or the gate or both. And it will be an auto gate because everybody is too lazy to get out of their cars. So. But again, I don't know about that because I don't drive. So cannot empathise at all about that. But yeah, he seems a reasonable guy, and he says he will keep me informed, and there'll probably be one of those auto bot things you push the buttons on to actually initiate the gate to open it. So, but he said that actually because there's so much expenses involved, it's actually a fully blown decision. That's not a committee decision. If it's anything over $500 spent per people in the unit, then it automatically goes to a general decision amongst all the owners. So that's good in a way. There's only 15 of us in the whole block, and so that's good to know, because well, mind you, I've got the house sitter, so I can actually see she'll be able to do it for me. She'll be able to take the device, so that's one pain out of the way. Another advantage of having someone staying there, apart from obviously security. So it's a good thing. So yeah, I'm glad they're deciding to do it, and hopefully they'll do both CCTV and the gates. CCTV is a lot cheaper than the gates. The gates are going to cost around 10 grand apparently, and but they're looking at quotes now, so they're getting serious about it. So that's good. I think it's essential in Cairns. You just can't afford to leave yourself open. Maybe years ago you could, but yeah, there's a lot of youth crime here, and I think that's probably they'll be the ones you need to worry about the most, because they'll be carrying out petty crime and vandalism and nicking things like bikes, which I've been a victim of. Anyway, now I'm heading off to the ANZ bank. Hopefully that'll be fine. Actually, the customer service at ANZ wasn't bad. They got last time I went there and got stuff organised, it was I didn't have to wait that long in the line, so they seem to have improved their system a bit. So banking has improved compared to the bad old days. You had to be in really long lines, and then again, I might be totally wrong. I'm going before lunch, so hopefully I'll have a full staff load on right now. So we'll see how it goes, and that'll be about it. I think I'm pretty well right. Just got to book my taxi for early tomorrow morning, and I'm pretty well right to go. So this is the time I hate the most, is before a trip, because I'm absolutely paranoid that I'm going to forget something, which is probably a good way to be, but it's not very pleasant. You can't really relax. I probably won't sleep very well tonight, and well, I might be able to get a little bit of a cat nap on the flights, even though they're only 4.5 hours in duration. Yeah, it might be enough time to at least doze a little bit. I could actually manage taking one tranquilizer, which just relaxes me. I'll see how I go on that anyway. Depends how badly I sleep tonight. I might be better off having a tranquilizer tonight, just to ensure they get about 4 or 5 hours of decent sleep before. That's what I've been doing in recent times. I don't use them very often, thank God. I haven't used one once since I've come back from overseas. And actually, I was sleeping really well in Vietnam. I found the Nest a really nice place to have peaceful sleep, so that was good. So my sleeping hasn't been super bad. I had a bout there was a bit rough, but since I've been back, it hasn't been terrible. Not ideal, but not terrible. It's nice knowing I've got a bit of money in the actual the account I've got in Vietnam, but I've still got to get money for both Indonesia and more importantly for Thailand, because I'll be burning a hole in my pocket in Thailand because of the I don't know what they're going to hit me for with transfer fees and what have you, and I have to pay for all my accommodation because it's all done through booking.com. The only time I'm using Airbnb is for the long stay that I have in Saigon, which is great because it comes out of my credit card, so I don't have to worry about having cash on hand for that one. but it still means that I've got to pay all the other accommodation on the journey. So yeah, anyway, it's a very minor irritant. I can live with it. Much worse things can happen, like volcanic eruptions in Bali. That would be a pain, especially on Tuesday. Yeah, I'm going to do another video on what I'm packing and what sort of preparation you should make before a trip. I haven't done one of those before, but it's probably a good time to do it. There's actually a guide in Tropic Now from First National Real Estate. They had a list there of things to do prior to going overseas or just going on a long trip. And yeah, of course, there were some sensible suggestions. They didn't mention the thing about the credit card, although specifically about travelling overseas. If you're travelling overseas, you need to tell your bank which countries you're going to, because if you don't do that, they may well just cancel your card on the fly and you're absolutely stuffed. And it's a bloody important thing to do. So anyone who's travelling, I would emphasise to them, make sure, if you're travelling overseas that is, make sure you contact your bank prior to leaving to tell them where you're going to be and when. It's easily done with ANZ. They're done automatically, and I assume the other big banks are the same. And if you've got a credit card, you should do that, because then you can continue to use it to make purchases or withdraw funds. Well, this is an unusual sight. As you can see, there's quite a bit of moisture around. It's raining. It's Monday morning, around just before 10 o'clock. And yeah, this could be a prelude to the wet season commencing, which I guess it's a summer season, so it's from December right through, I guess, right through till March or even April, I suppose, because I mean, the weather doesn't follow the calendar exactly. So yeah, this could be another wet year coming up, which will surely be very good for the farmers, because I know not as wet as last year. That was ridiculous. We could do without that, but there's a few people fighting fires at the moment in Queensland. I'm sure they'll be very happy to see a bit of rain, so hopefully this is not just here and a bit more widespread, because yeah, they're doing it pretty tough in rural Australia at the moment, so fingers crossed they're getting some benefit from this. If you're in a parched western part of the state, you'd be very happy to see something like this, I'm sure. Although it is cruel though, because last year it came down in such quantities in west of Townsville that it just absolutely destroyed the place. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, surely by these days we can mitigate against this type of thing, and one of those ways, of course, is dams. But again, that takes the big V word, the vision word, which is totally lacking at the moment. No leadership, unfortunately. So it's a real shame, because there are opportunities here. Some countries do it really well, like Israel. Apparently they've made the desert bloom there, whereas all their neighbours apparently still in dust bowls, but they put work into it, into obviously irrigation, and they've made it work. It can be done. It can be done if you've got the will. A place like Libya is another one. They've built huge pipeline going right through to Tripoli from the interior, and it's a massive project, and that's brought irrigation to northern Africa there. So like I say, these areas can be, if you've got people who are prepared to make long-term decisions, things can happen. But it ain't the way things are run in Australia at the moment, unfortunately. And our politics, I think, needs to change in a major way. But again, the electors have to encourage people to do long-term good for the country, not just elect people who are basically going to give them bags of money in the short term. They've got to think more long-term. And it's easy to say if you're not struggling, but and a lot of people are struggling, but they should be looking for the future. That's the people are supposed to be worried about their kids, and they are the future. So I think we're giving them a pretty ordinary future at the moment. It's not good. There's a whole lot of people back there in costume running around. God knows what it's for. But Wonder Woman outfits. Oh yeah, another day in Cairns. Pretty typical. At least the breeze isn't as bad. I'm going to go to PJ's probably for the last time for a while. My last Guinness for some time. Well, here we go. I'm just going to collect the papers I usually do over here. It's one good thing to go. You've got free papers. Let's have a look here. Get the Australian. Usually got a lot of crap. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.